All right, are the Broncos on the brink? Is it, what, 6 losses in a row? They need to win 6 out of their next 7, I believe, to make the finals. A big fall from grace here from the Broncos, who were, what, minutes away from winning a grand final last year. Probably should have. What's going on there? Why are they going so bad?
It's been a disaster, Braith, to be honest. I mean, you can blame Origin and the players that are out, but you look at a team like Melbourne and Penrith, and they've managed to keep winning without those guys. So I don't think that's a fair excuse. I'm befuddled by it, Braith. I can't put my finger on what's gone wrong up there.
Can I pull you up on what you just said about Melbourne?
Sure, pull me up.
Well, you're claiming they're as hard hit as the Broncos. Well,
not by Origin, but they've had no Munster and no Pappenhausen times this year as well.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying with Origin, they've only had 2 players, Grant and Coates,
not just Origin.
Now, Brisbane have had so much of their salary cap. Carrigan, Haas, Reece Walsh and Cobbo. Okay.
Reece Walsh is a lot of their
Canterbury
salary cap this year.
I'm starting to talk about the integrity of this competition, right? When a team like Brisbane gives up $3 million, arguably their salary cap, for such an extended period of the comp, you look at Canterbury. How many? They've been on fire this period. Let me finish. Have they been on fire? They've got 1 player.
Melbourne's had that much of their cap out. I know you're saying they've only
but it's due to Origin, mate.
But
everyone suffers injuries. That can't affect integrity.
So where are you getting at here,
and if you add, like...
Well, what I'm saying is Melbourne are on fire because they've only got 2 players this year. I'm saying Canterbury on fire because they've only got 1 player.
The
Dolphins. Hold on. The Dolphins had a really big win.
Where are you going here, Buzz? Because I know where you're going.
What did you see Newcastle yesterday?
Where are you going, Buzz?
I'm going to the fact that Origin takes away from the integrity of the NRL competition, and it's got to stop, Gordon, because it's not a fair comp.
I get it, but the reason why they got to the grand final last year was because of those Origin players. I think last year, if I'm harsh on Brisbane, they probably overachieved a little bit. At the beginning of the year, no one had them playing in the grand final. Maybe getting into the top 8, maybe top 4. And then this year with the injuries and they're young, like Reece Walsh just turned 22 during the week, Cobbo. So I think that last year they overachieved. They might have got a little bit ahead of themselves, but now they're back to reality.
Until the weekend, the quality of the competition's been outstanding. So the weekend was one thing, right?
And it's
I go back to Melbourne though. I don't necessarily agree with you, Buzz. I'm with Rudy on this. No Munster, no Pappenhausen. Origin players out. Coach has been injured at times. They've had numerous injuries throughout that team, and they're a quality. They are a quality. And look at Penrith. No, they haven't had Cleary. They haven't had Cleary in there, and they go up to Brisbane and beat Brisbane. They've had players come in you haven't even heard of.
Every situation's different. You say the quality's been good for 6 or 7 weeks. I disagree. You saw this weekend. There were blowouts every week. When they all played the following weekend, it was good as any round. The previous one.
That's what I said, though. I just said that.
Okay, for me being a Titans fan, I really enjoyed watching them beat Parramatta. Right, that's their 3rd win in a row, and I was there. And the Dragons fans would have walked out delighted that they've gone there and there's a rivalry. They played grand finals and they got the victory. I don't think that was a blowout.
Can I ask you this, Buzz?
No, you said there was blowouts all through the weekend.
Well, there was.
Buzz.
One, just the Tigers.
Buzz,
and I thought Manly and Knights were okay.
Manly and Newcastle was a blowout. And you know why? Newcastle were without 3 Origin players. 3. For the first time this year.
Maybe they could have played with the Origin players and the scoreline might have been the same.
I'll say this, Buzz. Not as many people watch the rugby league when Origin's on because of that. It's true. So that you do have a point there. But what are you saying? Stand alone or what?
Well, I'm saying we've got to jam it into a 3-4 week period mid-year, hold the club footy up, put a Trans-Tasman, Samoa, Tonga, New Zealand on, put a women's State of Origin series on, which just rates unbelievably well.
How many games you on?
We just did have
there's no club football, so we're giving programming to the network.
But you say it affects the integrity of the competition.
It does.
But when in the last 20 years has the best team not won the comp?
Oh, mate, I haven't got the premiership list in front of me.
The best team at the end of the season normally wins the comp.
If you gave me the, I'd go through it, but I don't know.
When the best team hasn't won the comp?
Buzz, the best team wins. And, with the State of Origin period, and I know you make some valid points. And
it's
you're
cost
probably
Brisbane a spot in the 8, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
it's too simplistic
It's
to blame
cost them a
Origin.
spot in
It's
the
too
eight.
simplistic to blame Origin.
But the young
for what's
kids that
happened
have
at
got a
Brisbane.
Oh, is
chance
it? Well,
to
you
play.
analyse it better.
Well, I'm saying here there's more than Origin that's affected them.
Well,
It's
tell me
not just
more.
Origin.
Buzz Roffey with the right hook there.
Oh, mate, tell me.
Well, I think there's deeper issues in Origin.
Explain.
There's clearly things
Discuss.
aren't.
You've got to have
things aren't kosher up
You've
there,
got to
mate.
have a stronger shell. You've got to have a stronger a base with a club. Like clubs can do it. They can get through with any player. It's the next man up mentality. That's the difference between being an elite team and not being an elite team. Those elite teams can get through it with Origin
I
players.
reckon Brisbane's injuries have hurt them more this year. I think Payne has missed games. There's no Flegler, right? And then Farmer. They were massive losses.
Adam Reynolds is a big
Adam
one too.
Reynolds hasn't played. Ezra
Yeah, yeah.
Mam's been out.
Yeah.
Like he was. I think he was rattled coming back from Vegas. Maybe he hasn't found the form, you know.
Yeah, you know,
Reece
you're right.
Walsh has
He
been
hasn't been
targeted.
at his best, has
Reece
he?
Walsh has been targeted. Cobbo, they have not had their 17-week. The sides that are up the top have pretty much, except for Melbourne. Melbourne are their own beast, but most of them have had their 17 every
Look,
week.
I know for a fact that they are looking at scheduling right now, and will end up some options will go to the commission at the end of the year.
Okay, lastly, do you think it'll happen standalone? Do you think the NRL are behind that? Is there noise? Is it
I
a
think
big chance?
I think there'll be a change in some capacity. It'll either be standalone Origin. I think we'll look at Monday Origin. Now, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a lot of players couldn't back up, about 20, because they played the Wednesday night. You play it Monday, they've got a week to recover.
Now, Stags, sin bin, you labelled it as dumb. Did you think that it was crucial in their loss? On the
Yeah,
week?
it was silly. Standing captain, I think they were in front of the Broncos too, 6-4 or something like that. And at a crucial stage of the game, they did score another try, the Dragons, but then they scored a lot of tries down that side of the field. And the Broncos, didn't start well at all. They were way too powerful, the Dragons. And they chased down the scoreboard, almost got there, lost 30-26. It ends up being a huge call.
Broncos, 6 losses in a row. They've had injuries. We spoke about it with the journos at the start of the show. They've had injuries. They've had Origin players out. Adam Reynolds has been out, which has been a big one. But are there deeper problems there, do you think?
Well, I think Kevin Walters is the only one that knows that true answer. But if I was to guess, they haven't really fired all year long. And look, they had 9 fingers on that trophy last year. They literally were one play away. And when you lose a grand final like that, sometimes you think you can solve it yourself. And I feel like the Broncos haven't been truly connected as a team. They're not humming with this team first mentality. There were great signs against Penrith the other week. I thought, okay, they're going to turn it here. But whether you've got Reynolds in your team or not, the Origin players or not, to concede 30 points against the Dragons when your season's on the line, it's hard to say this, but they'll almost need a miracle to play finals. With those 6 wins from 7 games, they've got the Knights, the Dogs, they play the Cowboys away. They finish with the Dolphins and the Storm. It doesn't matter who comes back in. If you're not confident, not playing well, that's going to be a huge fall from grace for the Broncos to go from where they were last year to missing the finals.
Well, crystal baller, if they all do come back,
Yep.
do you reckon they're a chance of playing finals?
Look, everything would have to go right.
Here's the run here, Coops.
There's the run here. So, Knights, look, the Bulldogs, if they lose that, the season's basically gone. Then if they can fight through that win, they got the Cowboys away. But to finish with the Battle of Brisbane and the Storm in round 27, that's going to be very difficult. For a team full of talent, for a team that off the back of that grand final last year, they should not be in this position. They should be playing finals. So, look, if you put me on the spot to say guess, I don't think they can get that. 6 from 7, that's going to be a huge thing, but they'll need a miracle to get there.